Welcome back to Sports Talk. Today we got another college basketball video. Sorry we haven't had NBA videos lately. We're trying to figure that out. We might have to change the day we do it. I don't know if there's gonna be one this week, but we're gonna try. Um, we're gonna try to figure it out. But yeah, we're just gonna get into it. Got a lot to talk about. Houston at 1. I didn't move them. I mean, they haven't lost in a long, I wouldn't say a long time, but they're looking really good. Bama at 2. The AP poll actually has them at 1, which is kind of surprising to me. Um, 22 and 3. I could see them at 1. To be honest, these top 3 teams, really, I would say these 3 are like by far the best 3 teams. Actually, not by far, but I think these 3 teams are in a tier of their own right now. Purdue is the 3rd one. They just lost to Northwestern, but I'm starting to like Purdue a little more. Zach Edey's the best player in college basketball, so um, and I was gonna put Purdue at 1, um, and then they lost. I was gonna switch them in Houston, and then they lost, so I had to drop them to 3. Kansas moving up 4. They are really good. They just beat Texas. Looked good in that game. Then they beat Oklahoma. Yeah, they've been playing good. UCLA, another team, kind of under the radar. I feel like they don't get talked about a lot. Their schedule's not too super hard, but I mean, they're a really good team. Texas, another really good team. They just lost to Kansas, but still been playing really good recently. Arizona just lost to Stanford. I don't really know how. But yeah, they lost by 9. Stanford's not, well, I wouldn't say horrible. Not a great team though. But I still think Arizona. I mean, it's they're gonna lose some games. But yeah, so they did lose. Virginia moving up 1 finally. Into this top 8. So if you guys are wondering, the reason I put these teams into groups of 4 instead of groups of 5 like NBA Power Rankings has it is, first of all, I want to do 40, so 4 gives us 10 slides. Nice. Like nice. It's not like uneven or anything, but also it's because there's 4, like, so that, for example, there's 4 1 seeds, so that first slide would be my 1 seeds as of right now. This second slide would be 2 seeds, so Virginia finally into that 2 seed, this 2 seed area. But yeah, maybe I should put like a little graphic in the middle. Like you should see where there's a space in the middle. We might do that. Um, Tennessee moving down 3. They've been struggling recently. They're on a 2-game losing streak here. They lost 3 of their last 4. They I had them at 1 at one point this year. It wasn't even too long. It was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. They just lost to Vanderbilt, not a good loss at all, and then they lost to Missouri. Missouri's a better team, but still they just shouldn't be losing that game. They play Alabama Wednesday. They really need to win that because bumping down to 19 and 7. Plus they have a pretty tough schedule throughout the way. They have to play Kentucky, A&M, Arkansas, and Auburn. Those are some good teams. So they really need a win here. Baylor's been getting hot at the right time. They're 19 and 6. They just took down TCU in a great game. They play Kansas coming up. They got a tough road here too. They play West Virginia, Kansas, Kansas State, Texas, and Oklahoma State, and then Iowa State. So, but they've been playing really good as of recently. Um, Marquette they just lost to UConn, um, but obviously still a good team. Kansas State. Kansas State just lost. They just lost. Okay, so they beat TCU. They dominated them. It wasn't even close. Then they lost to Texas Tech. I didn't move them, but yeah. So these would be your 3 seeds as of right now. 4 seeds. The first 4 seeds Gonzaga. Um, I don't know what to think about Gonzaga this year. They haven't. I mean, they have a pretty good record, but I don't know. Indiana. 18-7. They've been getting hot at the right time. I think they're on a pretty good win streak here. Yeah, 3-game win streak. Um, you know, I'm looking at the Big Ten standings right now. Northwestern is currently the 2 seed in the Big Ten. That is wild. Um, the Big Ten's really not all that dominant this year, besides Purdue and Indiana. Those are the only teams that are ranked in the AP pool. I have, wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 in the top 40, so, um, but there's only 2 in the top 25. Xavier just lost to Butler. Not a great loss, but I didn't bump him down too much. And St. Mary's, after jumping up all the way up to 15 last week, they lost to LMU in overtime. The same team Gonzaga lost to, I'm pretty sure. I didn't drop them too much though. Miami, starting to bounce back a little. They're 25, a sneaky good team out of the ACC. They're on a little win streak too, I think. 4-game win streak for Miami. They've been looking good. Iowa State is the most inconsistent team I've ever seen. They go out and beat Kansas by 15, and then lose to West Virginia and Oklahoma State back to back. And they have a tough 3-game stretch coming up. They play TCU at home, and then Kansas State and Texas on the road. Those are all ranked teams. That's going to be tough for them. Hopefully, they can at least win 1, if not 2. I mean, if they can win all 3, they'll be looking really good. But I would shoot for, um, getting that win against TCU at home, and then hopefully squeaking out either Kansas State or Texas. UConn bounced back with a good win against Marquette. They've been slipping, but yeah, that was a pretty good win. They did lose to Creighton by 3, but they looked good in that game. Oh, I haven't done this in a while. Creighton, okay, pretend Creighton's at 19, UConn's at 20. It doesn't really matter just because they're both like 5 seeds, but pretend Creighton's at 19 and UConn's at 20 because Creighton just beat UConn. Creighton's been looking really good as of recently. They're looking like they got their stuff together. They are on an 8-game win streak. At one point they were 9-8. They've been getting hot at the right time. Here's your 6 seeds. TCU, the first one. They've been struggling recently. They are on a bit of a losing streak, 3-game losing streak. They got a tough schedule ahead. Hopefully they can rebound with the win. Providence, 18-7. They just lost to St. John's. Not a great loss, but they play Creighton tomorrow. That'll be a tough game. Creighton's hot. San Diego State at 23. These are, I think I already said, but these are the 6 seeds, by the way. San Diego State's 20-5. They've been really sneaky good this year. NC State just they lost to Virginia. They did not look good in that game. Um, so yeah, that's kind of why I moved Virginia up. I was thinking about keeping Tennessee at 8 and Virginia at 9, but I moved them up to this. FAU rounding out the top 20. These are 7 seeds. FAU running out the top 25 at 24 and 2. Pretty good. They're a pretty good team. Illinois. Let's see what they've been doing. I think they're on a pretty good. I think they've been doing good recently. Yeah, they just beat Rutgers. That was a good win for them. Um, Illinois is creeping closer and closer to that top 25. I wouldn't be surprised if they get it next week. Missouri, another team, 19 and 6, really good record. But like this year, it just seems like they can't hang with those top tier teams, and they had something to say about that. They went out on the road against Tennessee and they won 86-85. That was a great win for them. It looked really impressive in that one. Similar to Northwestern situation, they have a pretty good record. Yeah, it just seems like they can't hang with those top tier teams. But they just went out and beat Purdue. It wasn't on the road. They were at home. They play Indiana at home and Iowa. 2 really good teams. Their schedule coming out for the rest of the year is pretty tough. They play Indiana, Iowa, Illinois, Maryland, Penn State, and Rutgers. All of those teams except Penn State's in the top 40, so we'll see if they can keep it up. Pitt, what are these? 8 seeds. Pitt is actually a really good team. I They are currently first in the ACC and on a 5-game win streak. Pitt's been you never hear anything about them, but they've been really good this year. Nevada, another team kind of similar. You don't really hear too much about them, but they've been playing really good. Oklahoma State started off the year rough. They've been getting hot at the right time, though. They're starting to win some games, pull out some games. Currently on a 4-game win streak. They are now 5-game win streak. In those 5 games they played, they beat TCU and Iowa State. They play Kansas tomorrow and TCU is Saturday. So, a chance to really prove themselves in the Big 12. Texas A&M, another one of those teams kind of been inconsistent this year. It seems like they get themselves into the top 40 and then a week after they get out. They're back as an 8 seed right now. 3-game win streak. They're the 2nd seed in the SEC right now. Pretty crazy. These are your 9 seeds. Teams kind of on the bubble here. Rutgers. They just lost to Indiana and Illinois, so a rough week for them. Arkansas. I like to look at this bubble just because you can see some of the teams slipping and slipping, and other teams rising. Arkansas, one of those teams that they did just lose to Mississippi State, but they beat Kentucky earlier in the week. They at one point they were in the top 10. They got a pretty talented team, a lot of freshmen, but Iowa moving up 6. They've gotten themselves in the top 40 for the first time in a while. They lost to Purdue, but they did just beat Minnesota, and they have a pretty good record, 16-9. Duke. They definitely have been inconsistent this year. They just lost to Miami. They looked horrible in that game. They lost by 22, and then they went out and lost to Virginia in overtime. That was a good game. But Virginia's been actually impressing me lately. These are finally your 10 seeds. Maryland. Some of these could be a little questionable, but Maryland, um, pretty inconsistent team. Another one like that. Charleston, 24-3. Um, they can shoot the three well. That's about it. Kentucky, just on a two-game losing streak. They need to figure it out because once they get to that 10 loss mark, it's going to be hard to keep them in this. Same with UNC. 1 point, #1 in the country. Now barely holding on to a tournament spot. But this is kind of how they were last year. I mean, it's a similar situation, but they started off, nobody thought they would be good. They struggled throughout the whole year. Turned it on at the end of the year, made the tournament as an 8 seed. Pretty sure they won the ACC. They made the tournament as an 8 seed and made it all the way to the national championship. The reason they were #1 was because their whole team basically returned, except for Brady Manick. But now they're back at that bubble situation. They're gonna have to figure it out in the ACC tournament, or just win as many games as you can, UNC. Because if you keep on losing, uh, you're gonna need to perform well in the ACC tournament. Um, if they make the tournament, we'll see if they can do it again. I don't know if I see it this year. Um, but the, the fun thing about this year is there's no clear-cut favorite. Um, I could see you saying like 6, 7 different teams that could win it all this year, and I wouldn't just call you crazy. This year's wide open. Um, it's one of the more interesting years for college basketball. A lot of different teams at the top you don't usually see. Some similar, some different. But yeah. So we're gonna end it there. We'll see you guys next week. College basketball. We'll see if we have NBA. I don't know. But yeah, that's gonna be it. If you wanna, appear on one of these videos, the Discord's in the description, like always. And yeah, we'll see you guys either Wednesday or Monday.